Hi, and this is My Perspective Mondays. Yes. Hey, it's good to be here to have another My Perspective Monday to share with you today what motivates you. Think about that because everybody needs to be motivated. What motivates you? Not all at once.
I guess with me, to me, motivates you, like to say to do what, whether it's to succeed at your job or physical fitness. It has to be intrinsic. It has to be within you. But you can help that by putting yourself in the right environment and putting yourself with the right kind of people to motivate you to do, whether, let's say, whether it's academically, professionally, or say physically. Okay, that's just one way, or a few ways. So that starts us off.
I think I agree with Mark in the sense that like motivation can really come from the people that you're surrounded with. And I think that if you surround yourself with certain types of people, it can motivate you in different ways. Like if personally, like I'm a runner, so motivating me, it really takes like I put myself with people who are better than me, and I run with people who are faster than me and stronger than me and have been doing it for a very long time, even though I've been doing it for maybe 6 months. So I don't have all the knowledge, but I can look to them and get advice, and I am motivated by them to be better and to, continue improving because I can see where they've gone and they can give me, they can give me like tips.
So you're saying you run to so you can be in some horror movies? You can run from Jason,
You know,
some
it really, it could come in handy. It really could. You never know what's gonna go
okay.
on. So
I
I mean,
think, Abby, I think it's more of a challenge in your age group because you have to go to school. You have to be around the same people, pretty much every day. Now, as you get older, you tend to have more freedom as far as who you associate with or who you find yourself interacting with. But I remember you were in school,
mhm.
you're with that same group of people no matter what, and you got to be careful who you kind of select to, make your peer group. So it is
Yeah.
a bit. I think it's a bit more of a challenge for you people your age than it is my age. I mean, my age, I say, if somebody I want nothing to do with doesn't is not a good part of my life, cut them loose and we'll never miss each other.
I agree with that. Seems like the older you get, you don't have the time or the patience to deal with trifling people. I mean, when I was younger, I would
Well,
hang right
passion
there
can
with you, but
definitely
now I
motivate
just
you,
will
so it would
cut you off
drive
real
you
quickly.
to
What about you, Alita?
passion can definitely like motivate people. So I think
Mhm.
that drive kind of that mental discipline would make you kind of plan out, well, I may not have, 8 hours of this part of the day, but once I come home, I can like maybe squeeze out like 45 minutes to an hour just sitting at a computer, whether it's like writing or illustrating, anything like that. Like passion can definitely be a life changer once people find it.
True, that drive.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Personally, for me, it's like a different quality of life. Like if you're not happy with what you have currently, it'll motivate you to want to be as well as chase and succeed and be better. And then once you get there, it'll motivate you to want to keep that because now you have to make sure that you maintain that new quality of life that you have to acclimate it.
Not being afraid to fail is also a big thing.
Exactly.
I mean, millions of quotes out there about that, but it boils down to that: not being afraid to get out of your comfort zone and not being afraid to fail. No one's going to succeed in anything in life if they don't take a chance on failure once in a while, and you're going to fail no matter what you do.
Abby, not Abby, but Leah, I know that, by you being in school, I know you have definitely got to stay motivated. You got to stay focused. What helps you to stay focused?
Uh, to be honest, really, I just
Oh, you have a
well,
job.
definitely still more in school. What really
I
kids
mean,
like
that
is
money makes you
passion for me.
motivated.
I really, yeah, I running does help me motivate. It's just like me making more money makes me feel like I'm independent now. But for school, it's just like you just gotta be really focused, like on top of things, because like if
That's for sure. You
and I
know
mean,
what?
well, Mark, it's not. You could be okay to
Mhm.
fail. Like you could be okay to fail because like I don't like to fail. If I fail, I'm like that don't motivate me. So if I fail, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it again. But
Right. I
it's
mean,
just
who
like
wants to
if
do it
I
the
like
rest of the year?
ace things, like if I just like I feel like me acing things in school is making me like, okay, yeah, I did this really good. So I'm gonna keep doing it to keep getting good at it better. So,
I
But you know
think that like
what
Yeah, there's
Jackson
like
said a
that
while ago,
discipline
and
that
Alita
you
was
teach
talking
yourself.
about, was being able to find your passion, and it's hard to find what that is. As you're going through life, and sometimes your interests change. But if you can wed your passion to something that helps you make a living, I mean, for example, there are a lot of people who have a real passion for
Sure.
music, but it's difficult to make a living with music. All right, and you
I
kind of
should know.
you wind up in a job where you're not just living for the weekend. That you enjoy what you're doing, and it doesn't feel like work all the time, as opposed to I can't wait to get off and go home, or for the weekend to come and to do something I really love. So not everyone has that dream. I mean, my parents' generation, I mean, everyone had to work at a cotton mill to make a living. They didn't like it necessarily, but they had to do. But so their passion was something that they did away from work, and it's unfortunate that you do that. Uh, and like I said, in my case, the passion to go back to graduate school was really fueled by just a desire to learn something new. I wasn't talking about money or anything like that. It was a desire to learn things, and hopefully, your passion will take you in a positive direction. Just do what you like to do, and
yeah. I think that like I think someone mentioned it, self-discipline is a big part of going through school.
Hmm.
And just like being in a job in general, being an adult, you have to have self-discipline and like motivation. You have to have a boundary that you have to
You
be
have to want better for
willing.
yourself.
Yes, you have to be willing to like accept that you're not going to be the best at it at the beginning. You're not going to be perfect, and like it's okay to fail. It's okay to be not good sometimes.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Everybody starts
I
somewhere.
absolutely agree because, just like, false motivation is motivation, just like negative. That's what I was saying, getting ready to say. Even negativity can motivate you. If you think about, well, if I don't go out here and get this, get this money, I'm gonna be sitting out on the street. You know
absolutely,
what I'm saying? So that'll
Chasing
motivate you to get yourself on out there and do what you
primary
got to
needs.
do. And when you said something about music just a while ago, yes, I'm in the music industry, and it's tough out there. It really is. But what motivates me is that I love what I do, and it's not a chore for me to do it. Because I love what I do, I can stick to it, and I'm determined to continue. I'm in there for the long haul. Alita, you were saying?
Well, I'm not sure. My internet cut out a little bit.
Okay.
I'll go ahead
What
and
about
talk
you,
anyway.
Jackson?
I wanted to double off of what Abby as well as Mark were saying,
Mhm.
because like off of failure, you shouldn't necessarily be afraid of it. It can teach you something. It only takes, I tell people, it's 2 letters to turn a loss into a lesson. Because if you fail, what did you learn from it versus as to how are you going to go back into it in order to achieve your goal?
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I've had some, if you have the thought of failing, just like when I was in school, I thought about, well, if I don't pass this test, I'm gonna be, considered a dunce, or everybody else gonna pass, and I'm gonna be sitting there. So
yeah.
that false negativeness, it helped me.
Well,
It
Thomas
helped me to
Edison's
do good.
the light bulb guy said something along the lines of, "I have never failed. I've just discovered 1,000 ways that don't work." But he keeps, but he kept on and kept on, and that's why we have this light around us right now, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
Jack of
you
all trades
tried?
still has many
Have you
talents.
have y'all experienced, Alita? Have you experienced people that are very negative, that you're around, that just send off bad vibes, that you just have to cut off?
Yeah, I like to think that I have like a kind of radar for those kind of vibrations. So I try to distance myself when I realize that those people might not have the best intentions for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that also I think that some of the younger people on here also could agree with this, that like school is kind of a place that it doesn't have the best people all the time. It's a big mix of people, and there's a lot of people, but there can be a lot of people who are just trying to put you down and have only self-interest, and the motivation comes from them being insecure or not liking you or feeling like they're out of place, so they want you to feel that way. And like it's horrible that people are treated that way. And I've definitely seen in my past that there's a lot of people I don't want to be around, and it is sometimes hard to distance myself from those people when you're in a school with each other.
Abby, but here's my spin on that. All right. It's not so much that I cut myself off from negative people or anything like that. It's that I seek out people that are like-minded and that will reinforce. Now, again, going back to when I was in high school, I made a decision at some point along the line. I wanted to stop being stupid and start being, a pretty good student. So I start signing up for the harder classes. All right. And then when it comes to, say, exercise, all right, you don't go hang out at Krispy Kreme. You go join a gym and you get involved with people doing exercise.
There you go.
People do things in groups. We educate ourselves in groups. We worship in groups. We eat, we dine in groups of people, all sorts of things. So, it's not so much with me, not so much a question of cutting off people that are negative as it is seeking out people that are like-minded and we can help each other in some way.
That's good because there's safety in number. I used to tell my daughter that there's safety in number. Don't be hanging around by yourself somewhere. But you know what? This is really good because I can think of the times in my life that people have actually drained my creativity. I mean, I'm trying to flow with it, and all of a sudden I just get, it's hard to create in a whole lot of mess, And just like Mark said, you got to find people with like mind, so like mine. So that's what I do, That's why.
Let me ask the panelists this. We say that what the heck that vanity is a bad thing, but shouldn't we be somewhat vain? I mean, like one of the reasons I exercise is because I want to look pretty good. So to what degree does vanity, whether it's the attention you get from people or just the self-image of your own self-image, to what degree does that motivate you to succeed, whether it's academically or anything else? The younger folks.
I personally think it's a huge motivation, like personal appearance, just like how you perceive yourself and how you want others to perceive you and how you think others perceive you. I think it'd be huge. Like it's the reason people go to gyms. They want to look better, they want to feel better, or they want to look better for other people. Like no matter what it is, it's they want to just do better. And there's I think there is definitely, they look in the mirror, they want to look different. They look at their grades, they want to do different. And so personal motivation of just not wanting to feel a certain way is a huge driving factor. I think that is huge.
There's somebody else.
That's good. And we all want to be, considered a hero in someone else's eye. Just like with my children, it motivated me to be and do better because I know that my children at the time, when they were little, they was watching me. So I wanted to do better.
Jackson, Alita, and Leah. I mean, now, to what degree? I know I said a while ago that motivation has to come from within, but to what degree does the approval of others, for lack of a better term, to what degree does that motivate you to do something, to be good, do well?
So I like to do personal competitions with myself. I don't really like to put my headspace in as competing with somebody else because I feel like that personally doesn't fulfill me. If I can beat my own personal record of a mile by 10 seconds, then that's enough for me, as opposed to, man, I just want to be that person in their shoes all the time.
Well, I don't mean so much that way. Like you want to be them, but to what degree, you want somebody to look at you. I don't say approve, maybe too strong a word, but look, I like the reinforcement, the positive reinforcement I get from other people. Doesn't that motivate you somewhat? Honestly, I mean, I've already asked you, Jackson, Leah, whoever.
Just
positive motivation
people,
definitely
just
does
positive thoughts back, just hearing people positive thoughts back on me, be like, oh, I noticed how you did this, or I noticed you're on the honor roll, or I noticed that is also motivation. Because I'm okay, so people really do see my changes or how I'm changing myself and my academics.
What about our man Jackson here?
Okay.
So like you said, don't look for the approval of people, because that's not something that I do. But personally, I like somebody that's going to keep me level headed. Don't get yourself boosted too high up, because then you're going to start overestimating what you can do. But then make sure that you keep a level of like what have you've done already, because you need to make sure that you keep doing more to surpass what you've already done. But it's also like, what haven't you done versus what somebody else hasn't done. Don't do what somebody else has already done, versus as to where don't let somebody else downplay the achievements that you've already done. Like, oh, I don't like the way that you did this. Okay.
Yes,
but I do.
That's good. You know, absolutely, Jackson. You got to maximize your achievements. You know, you and Alita, I absolutely agree. You know, because that's the way it is. You know, but I just, like Alita, said, what keeps me motivated is that I want to be better than me. My competition is not anyone, it's myself. You know, that's what I fight against. You know, that's what we all going to fight against, because this body is going to be with us until the end. So this is what
look,
my fight is.
Our director has a question. I don't know if the readers can see this or not.
Yeah.
About something that, in other words, you were motivated, then got demotivated. And I know Abby talked about running, all right, but that is not my thing. A knee injury demotivated me from running. I still am really into physical fitness, but not every kind of physical fitness is for everybody, and that is not my thing. So, and it wasn't a matter of, I didn't like it and gave up. It said, this is not for a guy with flat feet.
Yeah, I think like a personal experience I could share, just kind of being demotivated, even in fitness. When I first started to learn about fitness, I don't think that schools really teach you enough about how to take care of your body, especially as a woman. You're changing a lot, and like I just didn't really know how to take care of myself, and so I was doing a lot of things that I thought were healthy that may not have been the healthiest. I was eating like, just in general, like eating, I think is something that a lot of girls aren't taught really how to do.
Oh, not just girls.
And just people in general. And I was working out and it was just not working. But I kind of was doing it for other people's validation. And when I kind of got almost demotivated by that, I was like, it has to be me. Like I have to look at
exactly
and be, I have to. It has to be my choice and not for me to want to please somebody else. And I think high school kind of helped me see that in a way. I know a lot of people kind of try to do stuff to just get others' approval, but it demotivated me because I wanted.
I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but Theodore Roosevelt once said that comparison is the thief of joy. All right, so you shouldn't spend your time comparing yourself to other people. On the other hand, though, sometimes it is motivating to look around you. I mean, whether it's in school or in a gym or a fitness setting or a sport, whatever, sometimes seeing other people do something well, it does help motivate you. So you don't so much do it for their approval. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain that psychology there, but
you know what? It reminded me too, Mark, about people's approval, because when I'm talking to you younger ones up there, if when you got ready to go into college, or maybe you're getting ready to go into college, I remember my mom said, well, I always wanted to be a nurse. So just to prove my mom, just to, get my mother's approval, I went and signed up for nursing. And I didn't want to do that.
No.
I mean, it showed too. I didn't want to do it. So absolutely, Abby, you got to do things that's in your heart to do, because when you don't want to do it, it's gonna show that you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Am I right?
It can really just be demotivating to do something that you think should be motivating. Like it should be on your own approval. I think that a lot of other people could agree with that. It shouldn't just be for someone else. And I hate when people think that it's just for someone else. Like I think Alita was saying that she does it for herself, and I think Jax was also saying that like it's amazing that you don't look at someone else's approval, you look at yourself and you kind of almost try to beat yourself. Like I love that. I think that's amazing to try to do, is to try to beat yourself, because you're never going to be better than your future self, but you're always going to be better than your past self.
Well, it's like nursing is a great profession, all right, but it's not for everybody. Right. And a lot of professions are like that. They're very honorable professions, but not for everybody.
There has to be like passion and heart behind it.
There you go.
You know what? Let's get into our final thoughts right now, because somebody out there really needs to hear something that's going to help them stay motivated. And so what's our final thoughts?
No matter what happens, depending on the circumstances, don't give up. And if you feel as though you are going to give up, there's somebody out there that you have in your friend circle or somebody that you know that is going to help you pull yourself back together at the seams, no matter what. You just need to find out who it is.
Yeah, definitely find and look for like-minded people that just want to build themselves up and help others build themselves up.
That's good. That's good.
I think
Yeah, I do agree with, I do agree with that.
Go ahead.
Never. I do agree with that. Never give up, because like if you just give up, it's just gonna
You
all
give it
go
up.
bad. It's
Right.
like people like they have saying find like not even like a friend, but even like a peer group, a group of people that also feel that type of way, or like hear people different types of stories, because just hear how people different stories and situation they went through, you're like, okay, that can actually motivate you to keep going.
Abby?
I think a good thing to keep in mind is that like people around you really do influence you, and it's completely okay to have multiple groups of people that you look to for different things. Like it doesn't have to be one person that you're going to help with all of these things, or to kind of put just like relieve stress as a way, like talking to them about stuff. I think that like if you have, gym buddies, you have people who you read with that motivate you in that way, you have people who are smart and can help you study, like having different groups of people can help socially and can just help motivate you in just different ways. And you have to have all of the different motivation to really thrive, honestly.
Okay. Mark?
Let me quote one more dead person for the benefit of our director. Winston Churchill was invited to do a commencement speech back in the 40s.
Mhm.
And of course, most commencement speeches are long, dry, boring, and so forth. They quote this, quote that. Churchill's commencement speech consisted of the following statement. He stood up after he got applause, introduction, and all that, and just said, never, never, never give up. And he sat down and he stood up. And again, he says, never, never, never give up. And that was his speech.
I love that.
Very motivational,
Absolutely.
inspiring.
How's that for a
Absolutely.
dead guy quote, John?
You know what? Whatever you do in life, just don't give up. I agree with that, Mark. Don't ever give up, and just know that even though someone else may not understand your destiny or what you're trying to achieve, don't worry about that. Go for it anyway, and
As long
just
as you're
continue
enjoying
to
yourself as well.
stay motivated. Continue to stay motivated. All right,
Bye.
do your thing. You be blessed.